17 years? 17 years? The CERN machine been running 17 years? The last 17 years been up, and I know I speak at least 12 of them are slaves, and that just cut the off, and I feel better, but you telling me there's no coincidence? Ha!
They turned off the Large Hadron Collider at CERN, and now I see things out the corner of my eyes. I'm not crazy because I commented this somewhere else, and everybody, I mean numbers on the comment. Are you seeing things out the corner of your eyes? How many of us are doing this or feeling this?
I'm not one of those woo girls, but I will say this. The very day that CERN shut down is the day something shifted in my life. It felt like I had jumped timelines. It felt like I had suddenly stepped out of this gray space or came from under this gray cloud that I was under for years, and something just shifted. Like nothing materially or nothing that I could tell shifted, but something within me just like completely shifted, right? And the things that were once difficult are now suddenly easier. So I'm not saying CERN had anything to do with it, but I'm also not saying that it didn't, because I know science manipulates a lot of things in reality and atmospheres, but ever since that company shut down for maintenance, it feels like I got a new opportunity at life, and I'm about to seize, and I am seizing every opportunity, because the last few years of my life have been hellacious.
I don't know if my followers pay attention to stuff like this or even care, but y'all, today they just turned the CERN machine off, and they did it for maintenance, but they said they turned it off and they gonna have it off for 4 years. So make sure y'all out there paying attention, but y'all got 4 years though.
So you mean to tell me that CERN has been running that fucking machine for 17 years? 17 years they've been running that machine, and they just now cut the bitch off. Does that explain the whole Mandela Effect?
PSA to my niggas and my niggas only. They just closed that CERN portal. Everybody is trying to make you freak out about it. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, the world is finna go to shit. Their world is finna go to shit. Luckily for us, now that that portal is closed, we are fully activated into our beings, into our body. So now it's time to activate your mind, your body, and your soul and have them work in tandem. So step number 1, since the portal is now closed, tonight, go ahead and get you a glass of water, get you a candle, and find a dark place to sit. While you're sitting, light that candle and speak to that water and ask your water, what is my mission? What is my superpower? All thoughts are welcome. Whichever one sticks, let it stick. Whichever one goes, let it go. Allow your people to speak to you, because this is the moment in time where the veil is the thinnest. I had so many crazy experiences last night while just trying to sit here and meditate. Take complete advantage of this opportunity and fully activate yourself. I promise, trust me.
Remember the last time CERN got cut off? Remember the last time? Remember how much money you had? Remember how quickly your manifestation was happening? This is what this means right now. Them turning that collider off, right, disrupts the different versions.
And while CERN is off, you may notice that time is moving different. While CERN was up and operating, time was moving much faster. Days felt more like a blur. Now you may notice time is slower. You may think that it's later than what it really is. You may be at work, and usually by the time you get hungry, it's 3 o'clock. And now you're looking at your phone or your clock or whatever, and it's 12 o'clock. And you're like, damn, it usually be 3 o'clock by the time I get hungry. It's just now 12 o'clock. Pay attention to those things.
18 years running, one of the biggest scientific tools that humanity ever created, and on June 26th of this year, they decided to turn the lights off. Shall we begin? Are you really ready for this conversation? And I'm talking about CERN, the scientific lab that is located between the border of Switzerland and France, where scientists from all over the world have come together to be at this one location. And I want to describe this facility for you. It's 330 feet below the surface of the earth, and it is 17 miles in perimeter, like a big circle. And what they do there is they take protons, dash them off at opposite directions at the speed of light, and then purposely have them collide over and over and over again. This collision creates new particle substances that have not existed in our atmosphere, and they study these particles to understand what makes life up, what makes you up, and what makes me up. I want to read something off the screen for you. The first beam started in September 2008. The first real collision started in 2009. The biggest moment came July 4th, 2012. They found the Higgs boson. And they call this the God particle, the thing that explains why matter has mass at all. And this discovery won a Nobel Prize. Here's my thing with CERN. Number one, if you're doing this type of experiment, I don't see how there are not repercussions that take place in the broader ecosystem of our planet. 18 years of just pounding and smashing, creating we don't know what. They found a God particle. What else has this created?
What CERN actually does is not affect us spiritually. CERN is a big ass observation machine. I want you to understand, in quantum science, there's a theory called the observer effect. Now, in physics, it is widely accepted that everything is energy. Energy and emotions are particles interacting with each other. Now, when it comes to your nervous system, those particles that become your emotions, whenever you feel a sensation or whenever you're triggered, that is a communication coming from someone in a past life, in a previous version of your reality, your future self, or your ancestry that is observing you in that time and place. Now, when you are being observed, per the quantum theory of the observer effect, those particles collapse, so they are no longer free flowing. They become still, and that stagnancy is what makes you feel like you live in a state of hell. Remember, hell is a mindset. The Bible is a 5D construction manual. You have to learn how to interpret the science of religion, because the word religion is just the lesions of Ra. Ra are the individual cells, which are the star systems that you incarnated with. Those star systems, those different dimensions of you, those different realities, your archetypes, they communicate through your nervous system. Now, this is where it gets interesting, because CERN being the particle collider, the CERN machine is directly affecting your discernment. It's affecting how you perceive reality based on what you witness and experience. This is why a lot of us feel like we are being constantly oppressed, because we give credit to the external world, and we use the external world to validate whether or not we're able to manifest, how hard it is to manifest, how quickly things happen for us. We use our external world in order to validate that. Now, here's where CERN comes in, because when they shut that machine down, that means that we're no longer being observed. That means our particles are free again, because when the particles are observed, they collapse. So there's a gravitational pull that forces them into a linear structure. It's called the double slit theory, the double slit experiment. You can look that up. They go from being free forming, chaotic, and random into being placed linearly, parallel to each other. That's what's happening to your life when that machine is turned on. Now, when you are operating from the unconscious mind, which is what typically happens when you grow up in a toxic or traumatic environment, or when you experience toxic patterns in your adulthood by way of your friendships, workplaces, or relationships, that means that the subconscious programming, which is what operates your narrative and gives you your perspective. So it's the way that you judge the external world and make that belief about yourself. The unconscious mind comes in because the unconscious mind is what puts you in those narcissistic spells. If you're familiar with my content, you know that narcissism is the baseline of the third dimension. It's what we refer to as the matrix. But at the core, the matrix, or the matrix, has to do with how severed or how closely connected you and the Divine Mother is. If you are connected to the Divine Mother, which is your heightened frequency, which is a higher self, your future self, or the destiny, the point B, where you see yourself manifesting your reality, the distance between you and that determines whether or not you are living life from your conscious mind or unconsciously. And narcissism is the dopamine. It's the empty dopamine. Because you can get empty dopamine and then you can get pure dopamine. And that is exactly the way it sounds. You can get the pure or you can get the placebo. Now, a lot of us, we are dealing with the empty dopamine. We're in these relationships that don't serve us. We are running in these energetic circles. We lack the boundaries. We lack the execution. Our amygdala is too expansive, and it's shrunken our prefrontal cortex. The CERN machine and the powers that be, or were to that regard, they maximize, they capitalize on that. So when they turn that machine on and you're operating from the subconscious, then you're damn right, your life is going to reflect that it's being controlled by someone else. Now, disclaimer, nobody is placing you under any spell. You are allowing that to happen. And that happens through your level of self-awareness itself. Now, when this machine is turned off, you can run amok, you can live free, you can manifest instantly. But if during this period of time, these next 4 years, it starts to seem that there is still resistance in your reality, then you might need to come see me. Because what I do is I help people to tap back into that mother code and honor that divine love frequency in order for them to restore the balance and not being dependent on the outside world in order to confirm whether or not they're actually manifesting. You manifest from your stillness when you go through my rebirth journey. So the question at this point isn't whether or not CERN is real, or whether or not the moon is really harvesting us, or if somebody's out there trying to stop us from manifesting. The question is, how connected do you want to be to yourself? And how committed are you prepared to be on the journey of remembering your divine frequency?